So hello everyone. So I will still talk a bit about Firewall Launcher. So I did not say a lot about it yesterday, but as you may know, Firewall Launcher is the first tool you use when you want to deal with Firewall. It helps you to manage your images and virtual machines. So it's not new, but what is new today is the ability to use Firewall Launcher from the command line. So, why this project? Because it's just a matter of taste. Some prefer to use a UI and click and buttons and so on. Some prefer just to only use the keyboard and have fast actions. So, just that. Also, Firewall Launcher command line will be a bit faster to use and scriptable. We will see that. Just a few words about the people that helped to have this project out now. Axel, which was an intern in the EVREF team. David Beschger, that pushed the API a lot, and we worked a lot together for this project. And also Damien Paulet, that is supporting with the CLAP library. I will talk a bit about that, but it's the library that allows to interact with the command line. So now, let's dive a bit into the API. So there was a choice. We prefer to have a more small-to-cache API, and we put none first and then verb. For example, if you want to list virtual machines, you will call Firewall Launcher virtual machine list. Just that. So this choice is also good because it is less complex on the first level. We only have a few elements on the first level, and the help command of Firewall Launcher will help you to find that very easily. There is already a documentation that is online for that, so you can already click on it. Up. And you will see the full API of Firewall Launcher command line. So you have for sure the help command. After you have action on images, on process, on templates, on virtual machines. So just a few snippets for now. If I want to list virtual machines, Firewall Launcher VM list. If I want to create a new image, I will just use Firewall Launcher image create from template and the name of the template. I can also list running Firewall processes. Here it's not intended to replace the process list of the shell, but just to list Firewall processes that are running on your system. Okay. About the packaging of Firewall Launcher command line. So for now, the choice is to include a Firewall Launcher command line in the standard package of Firewall Launcher applications. So if you download Firewall Launcher, you will have both the UI version and the command line. In the future, it could be a standalone application that will not have all the UI layer, but it's another story. So as you can see, there is a screenshot. Here it's the macOS package. At the top, you have the Firewall Launcher with the UI, and there is a small script below for Firewall Launcher command line. So what are the functionalities that are delivered with Firewall Launcher command line? As Firewall Launcher, you will control images and virtual machines via the terminal. You have different commands to create, list, update, delete, execute, launch, and also package your Firewall images. Update, list, delete virtual machines, list and update templates and categories, and list processes. We will see that. So how it was done? In Faro Launcher, the core, the business code of Faro Launcher is in its own package. You have all concepts of Faro Launcher, the images, the repositories for images, for templates, virtual machines, how to find an image, and so on. And after, you have commands. So for the UI stuff, we use Commander2 commands. And for command line, we use clap for that. So we have command line commands. So both are really teeny, and they use the same business code. So on top of these commands, we have spec for the graphical part, and we have the clap command line handler for clap commands. So it's really easy. A few words about testing. One thing that is nice is that each command, UI or command line command, has its own test. So there are unit tests. You can see the GitHub repository of Faro Launcher. Everything is listed there. With clap, it's easy to test it. We give an activation. In fact, you just give a list of arguments and you can simulate the command very easily. We also do some black box testing with shell unit. It ensures that we test the whole chain of the command line. And we have a GitHub action with the test report for that. So I did not warn you, but you will work a bit. So what I propose you now is to download the latest version of Faro Launcher. So it's available on files.faro.org. You can install it. It will take a few minutes. And you will be able to test it directly with me. If you do not want, I will show you. Do not worry. So it's really easy. You install Faro Launcher, and you just have to create an alias so that it's available in your terminal. The advice is to put this alias directly in your shell startup script so that it's available even if you stop the machine. So for example, the first line is to define an alias for Faro Launcher on macOS. And the second line is for Linux. Yes, something I did not say. So Faro Launcher command line works on macOS, on Linux. It's not intended to be used on Windows. I have not tested it on Windows, but I suppose it is also working with Linux subsystem on Windows. Should work. And there is no plan to have it working in PowerShell or whatever. So those people that want to test in live already downloaded Faro Launcher? Yes?
Will it conflict with the existing Faro Launcher?
Sorry?
Will it have a conflict with the Faro Launcher that they have right now?
Sorry, I did not understand.
Will it coexist with the existing Faro Launcher, is the question.
Will?
Will it coexist with the existing Faro Launcher?
It is Faro Launcher.
Conflict. Yeah, we have two versions. Like we have one installed.
Ah, okay. Yes, sorry. I did not understand. Yes, you will have to replace either you replace the existing Faro Launcher you have, but it is safe, or you install you install it in a temporary directory. It will work also. You just have to change the path to the application. Just that. Yes?
It's a long string. And
You see there, you have the Intel version for macOS. Here for the ARM version. This one is for Intel on Linux, and this one is for Windows. So, hop. Sorry. When it is installed, the first command you can run is firewall launcher minus version to see if everything is okay. Is it big enough or not?
Yes,
Maybe a bit bigger.
but we are in the first line.
Is it okay? Okay, so let's go. So now we have a command that is called firewall launcher. We can call it directly from the terminal. Sorry. We'll have to do that. If you do not know what to do, you can use the help command. Yes, not good. So, how will I list firewall images? So this one is very simple. No one, firewall launcher, image list. Very simple. So, firewall launcher, image list. Okay. Yes, I have a lot of images. Okay. I have a lot of images. So what I can do, for example, if I want to work on firewall launcher, I have an option to filter by the name of the image. So if I do that, I only have 12 images. So it's a bit better. Also, what I can show you, there are different output modes. There is a brief mode. Yes, just the brief flag. So you only have the name of the image. You will not have all the information. There is also the raw mode. To have it like this. And I will go back to the standard mode, that is this one. Okay. So when I use this command, it runs the firewall virtual machine with a standard firewall launcher image. So it's just a wrapper, a shell script that wraps the run of the firewall image. So the same code is used for firewall launcher UI and command line. So I can do the same for the virtual machine. VM list. Okay, I have the list of virtual machines that are already on my computer. Now, more interesting. How can I list available templates in the default category? That's because there are a lot of different templates, so they are sorted in different categories. Most used categories are in the official distributions. So the default category is already selected, so you only do firewall launcher template list. Let's do that. Firewall launcher template list. Okay, so I see in the default template list I have firewall 11, 12, 13, as well as Moose 9, 10, and 11. Okay, I can also list template categories. So here I can see there is a category for Faro MOOC. The first one is our local templates. We have deprecated distributions for old Faro versions and Moose version. We have Faro 12 and 13 with all the images that are built available, Faro IoT and so on. We can also list templates of a specific category. So let's do that in deprecated distribution. No, maybe I will not do Faro launcher template list. Okay, deprecated distributions. And you see we have images from Faro 2.0 to Faro 10. Okay. More interesting, how to build an image. To build a stable image, you just have to do Faro launcher image create the name of your image. So let's do that. Faro launcher image create new image. Okay. Oh, new image too.
You could use shell variables though, so you could put new image and then like $date or something.
Yes, we could. So, okay, the image is there. So we have the current stable image of Faro. So, if I want to build the development version of Faro, there are different ways. I could use options to say I want the template name Faro 13 and the name of the image, but it's very long and it's not handy to type in. So there is a shortcut. So there are short names for well-known templates. So Faro 13 will work. But also there is a flag, dev flag. You can use it to have the dev image. So if I do that, no. So let's do with minus dev. Okay, it is downloading, so that's why it's a bit long. Okay, Faro 13 is there. And as you can see now, the shell is still active. I can do a Ctrl-C to just kill the image. So let's go a bit faster. Listing, sorry, building. We can also build a Moose image like this. This one is nice. We can build a stable image with loading of your project automatically. So here I took the project packbot. So I will just copy paste that. Okay. Yes. So it will also take some time. So you see you have the command that is run to load your project. So by default it looks for baseline and it will load the default group. Okay, it's finished. Up. For this image, it's not yet launched automatically, so you have to launch it, image, launch, test from repo. Okay, and if I browse, I can see that I have my Packbot packages. Okay, nice. What else? This one is very cool. If you want to review a pull request, you can just create an image. You give the argument from Pierre and the pull request number from GitHub, and you will have automatically the code of a project. So that, just a warning, it used the artifact produced by the Jenkins server, so after some time it could not be available anymore. In this case, the command will fail, but if the artifact is there, you can build with the artifact from the pull request. Yes?
Is it possible to do that in normal Pharo launcher?
Not yet.
Okay.
You can also build an image directly from the build number. If you want a specific build of Pharo, you do that from build, the build number. And for this one, it uses artifact from the file server, so it will always work. This one is also very nice because in Pharo, when a bug is introduced, sometimes you want to detect, okay, when did we introduce this bug? So there is a nice algorithm that will do a bisection. I can show you very quickly. So you do Pharo launcher image bisect. It will collect Pharo image build numbers. So it will ask me, what is the first non-faulty image? If you do not know, for example, for the current development image, it will take the first one. So let's say, no, the last one, sorry. So for now it's 123, so let's say that. The last non-correct image, by default, it will be the first one of Pharo 13. So it was build number 3. Let's say I don't know 3. So what the algorithm does is to find the image in the middle. It will download it for you, run it. You check, is the bug present or not? Okay. You have to tell him, yes, the bug is there. Okay, I will do the same, another bisect, until you find the image that is faulty.
Can I run a test case there directly?
Not yet. For now, you have to use the UI, but yes, it's an addition that should be easy to do.
Good idea.
Also, you have a command that allows you to package and share an image. If you have an image and you want to share it very easily with someone, what will do this command is to take your image, copy the virtual machine that is used for this image, create a small shell script to run the VM with the image, and produce a zip file from it. So it's easy. We have other commands to delete an image, update a virtual machine. If you want to have information, more detailed information on an image. If you want to recreate an image, starting from the same template, these commands are already available on the UI. And you can list Pharo processes. I'll show you just this one. So Pharo launcher process list. And here you have a list of Pharo processes that are already running on my laptop. So there is a kill command also if you want to use that. The last one, we also have a stone output for all commands. And it's very handy. For example, you can list images, output that in a file, and then you can use the result of that in another Pharo script. So I already did that. Faro launcher, image, list. Sorry. So if I do that directly on command line, I have the standard output on command line. I can store it. I will take a bit less up as this one. I will just save it in a file. And after, I will just launch an image, new image. Yes, you can run an image and give it a script also. So I already have a small script available there. Read result.st. I do that. Okay, I have it. So I have a dictionary with the standard information. If you want objects, you will need some basic Faro launcher classes. That's all. Okay. So if you cannot choose between UI or command line, you don't have to. Both are included into Faro launcher. And for the future, there are some tasks. For example, enhance clap to manage the command line. For example, to have basic types and validations and so on. So it's not visible for Faro launcher user, but for the development, it will be easier. Also, there are small parts that I should unify, for example, the Faro launcher CLI model and the Faro launcher applications, that is a spec concept. They are mostly the same, but one for command line, one for the UI. So there are a few things to do around there. So thank you for your attention. If you have questions. Yes?
So it's possible to use this to port or to package external dependencies and at some point, like, for example, I am using, I don't know, Fossil, for example, the control version system. And I would like to put that as a library to package with my image. And I would like to have this possibility that, for example, is available in SIG when you can like create something from, I don't know, Linux to Windows or to Mac. I would like to have a single place in my Linux machine to deploy images and dependencies, external dependencies, for Mac or for Windows. Will be this possible?
For that, it's not intended to manage external dependencies. I talk about packaging, but it's more about share an image easily. But what is sure is that Faro launcher is extensible. We could add new commands. For example, when we will have a tool to package, really a packaging tool for applications, we could make it available from the command line or Faro launcher easily. That is possible, but it's not the purpose of Faro launcher to propose packaging.
You didn't demo it, but can you use environment variables like date, or do you have to represent them in multiple ways? Like to create an image that's, you know, Faro 13 minus, you know, 22nd of June or something.
Could be doable. I did not test. Image. You see, for example, image create image that What could I use? User?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Hmm.
Hmm. Let's see. Eh,
Yeah. Cool.
so it's good.
Nice. Yeah, that's it. That solves a big problem.
Hmm. Ah, okay. What's please wait. Thank you.